You know what I'm saying?
I know. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. But hey, just look in the mirror. It's my advice to you. Just
Wow,
look in the mirror.
that's the biggest compliment
Yeah.
all year. Hi, guys.
Hey, Matt. Something's off with my ears. It's echoey, or
I know a little bit too.
is it me?
A little bit. I feel it too. But
Hey guys,
Hey,
how's
Chuck.
everybody doing?
hi,
got-
Joel.
We got
Liam.
Chuck,
Chad and Amy.
Chad and Amy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is that Peter Gates?
Peter Gates has got he's in his office.
Mm-hmm.
We got someone pointing at the Hopeaholics.
I see Joel.
Got someone there. Yeah, Matt. There you go. Matt got his shirt.
Candace,
Julian, iPhone. Keith,
Lori,
Jennifer,
Alicia.
Katie, Kendra.
Victoria,
I knew a Kendra growing up.
Julian.
iPhone 4.
Kendra.
Oh, there's my girl.
iPhone 4?
iPhone 3.
We're on like iPhone 15 now.
We got CSC program. Females in the house tonight. Girls, how you doing? I'm Shane. Nice to meet ya.
Wait, scroll over.
Can you zoom in on me, please? It's the girls. I just want to wave it.
Sam's S24 Plus.
Can you zoom in on me, please, so I can wave at the girls? What's your problem, man? Hi, ladies. Mwah! Nice to see ya.
Joel, what's going on, my man?
All right.
Where's Joe?
Joe.
Joby.
Joe P.
Pip.
Joe, he is. There he is.
Where is he?
He's
He's right there.
He's waving.
Top right.
Medium right. Now he's gone.
Oh, he went
Now he's
there.
back left. He's got a raincoat on, or a white jacket, or a white shirt.
It's
Well,
it's
if some of you all remembered, we were supposed to be in New York right
Yeah,
now.
we were.
And right before
We were getting on the plane, basically.
basically right before
12
we were
hours.
getting on the plane,
You know, not even 12 hours,
they
bro.
they canceled our flight.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't cancel our flight. They kicked us off the flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, they switched
They
planes.
switched planes to a smaller plane
No bueno.
and
Gave
boom.
us Wednesday.
Yeah.
And there was no flights. Wednesday.
Gave us a flight for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we wouldn't have made it.
And guess what? Tomorrow morning is when the event that we're supposed to be at is.
Right now, you know what we'd be doing right now? Shit. We'd be fucking wiping grease off our chins, man.
We were supposed to be at a
the
nice
pizza place.
Italian. No, that was tomorrow night.
Oh, that's right. That was tomorrow.
So, anyways, Joe,
Sorry, buddy.
we
Yeah.
will see you soon,
Yeah, man.
and we are sorry, but we're here in studio.
Hunter, Victoria, Peter, Keith. Hi, guys. L. Can we go? Who's got that leaf right there? Who's the leaf?
Oh, that's somebody.
Tori.
Somebody hiding behind the leaf.
That's Tori.
Tori.
We got iPhone up there. We got Joel, Chuck. Looks like he's laying on a cloud or something. Tyler.
What is that? What is that behind Chuck? Like black clouds?
No,
though,
it's
like,
not.
What
It's
is
Mount
it?
Rushmore?
Hang on a second. I'm going to try this. Tyler Fahey. I'm sorry. I was just playing, buddy. You see his name right there?
Yeah, Tyler Fahey.
Fahey.
That's probably how you say it.
I know.
We'll let he'll share in a bit.
He'll do it.
He'll tell us
Yeah.
how we say
Oh,
his last name.
where is he? There he is. People keep running off on us.
I agree, Matt. Matt put in the chat, there's a reason it happened. Be grateful the universe kept you safe.
Sam killed.
Oh yeah,
Into
thank you,
that.
Matt. Matt, yeah, thank you. I agree too.
Me too.
All right, guys, let's get this party started.
Yeah, let's go.
Welcome to the Tuesday night Recover Out Loud meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Who's excited?
I'm
am.
overly excited.
Overly excited?
Overly excited. I'm on overdrive.
Well, we have an amazing guest tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, we do. Sam's got his hand up already. Should we tell him that we're going to do the hands at the end of the movie?
No, Sam, you can have your hand up,
ready.
Sam. He's
Yeah, he
ready to
can
go
have
for
his
when
hand
it's
Okay,
time.
I was just pointing out something. That's all.
He's ready.
Again, guys, the Recover Out Loud is a movement, not a program. So make sure that you do what you normally do on a daily basis to stay
Sober,
insane,
healthy. Yeah, bro.
healthy, alive.
Yeah.
The reason why the Hopeaholics podcast exists is because on 9/11 of 2022, I lost my son-in-law to the fentanyl crisis. So, you know, we joined this movement, and yeah, man,
Yeah.
we're doing the deal.
Yeah, we are.
Created from a boatload of pain, something beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue on forever and ever and ever and ever. That's what we're doing here.
Yep.
It's a legacy we're leaving behind.
Yep.
It's cool.
In the name of Justin.
Yeah, man. It's cool. That's what I'm talking about. That's nice.
So we're excited. We got a really, really good guest. Are you going to do the introduction? Going to share for about 20, 25 minutes? And
No, you can.
Oh,
then we'll-
actually,
You can introduce
Wait.
JD.
wait, because I just saw Sam
No one gets it but me and you, but
Wait.
that's an inside joke. We're laughing, man.
in the chat. Are you allowed to talk or keep muted? So how we do it is JD is going to share his experience, strength, and hope for about 20, 25 minutes. And then we open it up to all of you guys. And then that's where when you raise your hand, then you go ahead and you get to share whatever it is that's on your mind.
Yep. Everybody will get a chance to share after the speaker.
Yeah, Sam, welcome, brother.
Yes, welcome.
Thanks for coming, man.
All right. Well, let's get this party started. Shane, go ahead and introduce JD and let him know a little something about him.
Yeah, here's JD, good-looking guy. He's in really, really, really good shape. I believe he's sober. He told me for 11 years. Or
13.
13. I apologize.
Yeah, don't shortchange him.
I believe he's a married man with some children. 3 kids. There you go. I think that's enough.
All right,
Take it
JD,
away,
you're
baby.
going to grab that mic and put it about an inch away from your mouth,
Yeah.
and you're up.
All right. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Before we go, because Joel just politely put it in the chat. So once JD is done, then we open it up for 3 minutes and for you guys. And then after your 3 minutes, we usually give like 15, 30 seconds, depending on how Chad feels, of grace. And then we mute you. So that way everybody gets a chance to share.
Nice.
So don't get your feelings hurt if you all of a sudden get muted.
Eh.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
You're up, JD.
Yeah.
I am excited to be here. I love sobriety. Everything I have good in my life is due to my sobriety. So I hope you enjoy the story. I came out the womb with a mohawk. And both my fingers up. What can I
Nice.
Great. From day one, I was attracted to darkness. I just was drawn to it. I liked fast music, fast cars, fast women, all the above. You know what I mean? And grew up in a strong Christian family, and I just was not that. So it just was kind of the black sheep from day one. There wasn't drinking in my house, so I didn't really deal with it much until 9th grade. I made a varsity team in 9th grade, so I started hanging out with some upperclassmen. So I went to a senior party and was very, very uncomfortable. And someone said, "Hey, take a shot of this." "What's that?" "That's tequila." "All right, let's try it." You know, and instantly fell in love, hooked right from day one. That first night, I was drinking all night. Me and this guy, you know, with every last man standing, just he and I, you know, and that was just like telling the future of what I was going into. Sports kept me in line for high school for the most part. Moved down to Huntington Beach when I got out of high school and played ball there and did well. Kind of kept my nose clean for, you know, I started dabbling in, you know, some coke and, you know, different stuff like that. But as soon as I tore my ACL my sophomore year in college, so my football career ended. And that was it. Let's get after it. It's time to party. I started doing a lot of cocaine and just partying on the weekends. All my friends played in punk rock bands, and we were heavily into punk rock music. So we were like going to punk rock clubs, partying from Friday night till Sunday night every weekend, and just having a blast. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I had some good times. I could always lean on alcohol and drugs, man. They were just there. You know what I mean? But the monkey on your back starts to climb up your back. And he has his arm around your back, and then all of a sudden he starts to choke you, you know, and that's what happened to me. Fast forward, I was 25 and got into the mortgage industry, started doing well and living life. And I slipped a disc when I was 25 and couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So I'd go to the doctor, and they would just give me Vicodin. It's a slip, or it's a pulled muscle. Here's some Vicodin. So I started to now take drugs daily. I went from the blow and the cocaine to taking the opiates and fell in love, you know. Fixed the problem in regards to that. I ended up taking the Vicodin for about 9 months, getting the surgery and fixing the problem. But what was left was an opiate problem. And it never stopped. You know, I'll fast forward in regards to how bad it got. I got into Oxycontin. I mean, I couldn't get Vicodin one day. And this guy gave me this little green pill. "What's that?" "You know, it's Oxy." "Let's try that." And he cut it up, and I snorted it, and like, whoa, no more Vicodin. It was just Oxys from then on. You know, I had bad back and had surgeries and stuff. So at that point, the pharmacies weren't connected. And so I just doctor hopped and just would Oxy. I mean, I was doing them, selling them. There was a time I was like selling, thousands of Vicodin at a time, and it was a mess. It was a mess. After the Oxycontin got taken off the market, I was left with an opiate problem. And what did I turn to? Like most people did, I started to do heroin. And, once you start doing heroin, it's a swan dive into self-destruction in hell, or at least it was for me. And it got bad. I moved from Huntington Beach down back to Temecula, where I grew up, thinking that if I went back to my hometown, that would be a good thing. And all my buddies were into crystal meth, so it wasn't a good thing. So now it was heroin and crystal meth. So the problem with that mix was that you could stay up for days, and I did. I'd fallen so far away from who I was supposed to be, and it was sucking the life out of me. It was literally killing me. I literally started to hate who I had become, and that was what was going to kill me. It wasn't the drugs and alcohol. I could do a lot of those, I could always just pretty party hard, but I'm going to skip to the end here and get into the recovery here shortly, because that's the best part. So here's the big catalyst to my change. I'd been up for like 7 days, heroin speed, and I was in my room in Temecula, and I was dripping in sweat. It was like 2 a.m, and I was like, wow, this isn't going well. Like my heart was starting to palpitate and stuff. And I'm like, I wasn't even scared. It was more like, I'm so tired. I'm just ready for this to be over. However, in my head popped this God that my parents talked about. And I'm like, well, if that's real and there is a heaven and hell, I'm definitely not going to go to heaven. So I basically threw out a prayer and just said, God, if you're real, I'm in a bad way. I need some help. I need you to show up. And I ended up falling asleep that night, and sleeping. And then next day, my buddy came over with a morning dose, like always, and morning dose of self-destruction. And out the door I went. This was the very next day. So we stop at a liquor store to get some booze. And I'd always go inside and get the booze, with him. But I said, hey, grab me some vodka. I'm going to smoke a cigarette. And I'm up against the car, just smoking a cigarette, just kind of in my own world. And I see this older lady kind of coming up to me, and I'm like, and I look at her and I said, ma'am, are you okay? Can I help you? And she said, sweetheart, I don't want you to think I'm crazy or strange, but God put it on my heart to come up to you and tell you that he loves you and he has a huge plan for you, and you're going to affect a lot of people's lives. And I was just like, whew. And in the desperation that I was living in, this absolute hell that I lived in, it was this little flicker of hope that got inside me. I didn't get sober that day, but what happened was it festered and it grew. And 2 weeks later, I did. It was January 18th, 2011. And that was just the day. I mean, I can't tell you like some miracle happened. The way that I'll explain it to you is, I think all the thousands and thousands and thousands of prayers that my family prayed for me accumulated that day. And God said, I'm going to give this guy a lift up today. What are you going to do with it? And I did. I was staying at a drug house in Santa Ana. And, I got outside. I just left where I was at. I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't ever have any money. I never could even pay a cell phone. So I walked to a payphone. I hadn't talked to my dad in over a year. He didn't even know if I was okay or alive, And I called him from a payphone in Santa Ana, and he answered, and he said, JD. And I said, hey, Pop, I'm in a bad way. Is there any way that you can come pick me up? And my dad being a man of integrity and just a godly man, just who he was, I knew he wanted to probably talk to his wife. He said, can I call you back at this number? And I said, yeah. So it took a few minutes, and then he called me back. And he said, where you at? Coming to get you. And that was where my journey began. I drove with him back to his house, slept the whole way, and I kicked at his house. I went through 7 days of hell. I didn't take any Suboxone, nothing. I just did it old school style, like, let's get after it, And this was 13 years ago, so I just got onto Craigslist and started calling sober living houses in Orange County and just asking. And then, a lot of them were expensive, some were not. And then this guy answers the phone. He said, hey, man, listen, if you're looking to get sober, come down. You got to go to certain meetings. You got to pay this, this, and this. And he kind of gave me the rules. He said, can you follow those rules? And I said, sure. And so I went down there, and I had no idea if I was going to stay sober, but I wanted to. And that was my journey. And I'd tried to get sober about 5 different times where I really tried. I didn't have any program, you know. I really meant it. But you guys know when the cravings from hell come, there's no defense to it, you know. So this time was different. I started on the same path. I was going to go to the crossing. I was going to go to church, and I was going to do that, which I did. And about 2 weeks into my sobriety, it was a Friday night, I started walking to the crossing, and this guy at the house was like, dude, come to this meeting with me on Friday, man. It's such a good meeting. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go to church, blah, blah, blah. And I started hoofing it to the church. And I'm like, oh, dude, I don't feel like walking that far. So I turned around, and I went to this meeting with him. And it was a Q&A on Friday night at Newport Club. And great meeting. And this guy spoke. And this dude was just dropping it. Like, it was crazy. Like, when he spoke, people listened. And I was like, who is this dude? Like, I want that. Like, whatever that dude has, I want that. I didn't know what it was. In hindsight, obviously, it was integrity and character. But when he spoke, people listened. And I'm like, whoa. So I didn't know how to ask for a sponsor. I never had one. So I went up to him after, like, hey, man, I like your speech. You know, you'd be my sponsor. I felt like such a dweeb. But he, you know, it was like I was asking a chick out. And he said, yeah, man. He said, why don't you come to dinner with us? And he said, what have you been doing to stay sober? And I said, you know, I've been going to church. And he said, JD, he said, first we're going to work on saving your ass, and then we're going to work on saving your soul. And I remember that vividly because I always thought that was kind of weird how he put that. But he was talking about step 1, step 2, and step 3. You know what I mean? And that was rad, man. And, you know, he dropped stuff on me that I use to this day. I mean, this guy was a Jedi. I mean, the teacher shows up when the student is ready, and that is for sure in my life. I mean, he started dropping stuff on me that, like, we show up to work to provide a service to our job. The paycheck is the bonus. Mind blown. Like that, mind blown. That to this day has helped me to be so successful in things that I do because I hear him saying that to this day. We show up to work to provide a service to our job. Paycheck's the bonus. So I had a bunch of court cases just compounded. I'd been arrested so many times. Excuse me. And I would never go to check myself into court, no way. So, but he says, you need to go handle this. And I'm like, dude, if I go to court, I'm going to jail, dude. And he's like, sober men are men of integrity, and men of integrity handle the business. You need to go to court, and if you go to jail, you're going to go to jail like a man, and then you're going to come out, and you're going to wipe your slate clean. And I'm just like, oh, dude. So here's the first taste of the promises that I got. Excuse me. So I go to court, expecting to go to jail. I sit there all day. You know, if anyone's been to court, which probably a lot of us have, I missed the first one, and then I got to go to the break at lunch, and I'm like, oh, dude, I got to go back. I'm waiting to go to jail, you know what I mean? And then now it's me and this other gal. It's just me and her. And then she calls her up. Now it's just me. And so the judge calls me up. She says, Mr. Denham, I called you up last because you have so many compounded court cases that it's going to take me an hour to unwind this. You know, and I start saying, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sober, blah, blah, blah. She said, you're sober? Are you working any type of program? I said, I am. I'm working, you know, I'm in Alcoholics Anonymous. She said, do you have a sponsor? I said, I do. She said, are you working the steps? I said, I am. She said, tell you what, why don't you come back in a month? She said, that'll give me some time to unwind this, and then we'll deal with your problems when you come back in a month. So I wait a month. I'm going back to court. I tell my buddies, listen, when I get out of jail, come get me. I go to court, but this time she calls me up first. She said, Mr. Denham, are you still sober? I said, I am. She said, are you working steps? I said, I am. Do you have a sponsor? I do. Tell you what, why don't you come back next month? So this goes on for 5 months. Same exact thing. Wow. Every time. So fifth time or so, calls me up, same thing. She said, so she gives me some type of exit thing where I go into some other court system, and I had to jump through some hoops for them, which I did. You know, I had maybe 9 months sober at the time by this point, but I stood in front of a judge, and they weighed 12 cases off my desk. I didn't pay a penny. I didn't do a day in jail. Just wipe my slate clean. Oh. And that was the first experience that I just was like, well, the sober stuff is actually pretty cool. You know what I mean? So that was the first thing. Now, my sponsor made me get a get well job. There was still some residual pride and ego inside of me because I used to do really well in the mortgage industry, and now I had to wake up at 4 and walk up, a long way to a bus and take a 2-hour bus ride to South County and sell golf clubs and then take a 2-hour bus ride back. And it sucked. And then finally, I found a guy that would pick me up, so I said, hey, listen, man, like, I'm going to get this guy to pick me up. I'm going to pay him, so, and he said, JD, are you a man? I knew there was somewhere we're going with this, right? And I said, I am. He said, haven't you taken enough at this point in your life? And I remember thinking, like, what a dick, like, come on, dude, I'm going to pay the guy. But in hindsight, he was teaching me a lesson, which is do it yourself, humility, and that was the Jedi that this guy, the foresight that he had to see that that's what it took for me was to pay my dues and to do these. And I did that for a year. I did it for a year, and then about a year into my sobriety, I got back into my career, which is the mortgage industry, and started doing stuff like that. Second little area, well, I'll tell you where I've had the promises really shine was I think I had 4 years sober by this point, and I started setting rules for myself, which were I'm going to wake up at 4 in the morning and I'm never going to hit snooze. Like, that's my thing. The first decision of every day is the right decision. I'm going to get up and I'm going to make something of myself. So I wake up in the morning and I never hit snooze, and I go into my office and I pray. I read from 5 books, and then I physically get on my knees and I end on a prayer. And that's how I call it paying the tab or earning the sunrise. And I've done it for 13 years. Mm-hmm. It is non-negotiable. It doesn't matter if I'm on a beach in Maui, I get up at 4 and I do my routine, and it's just, I do not bend on it. So if anybody takes anything out of this, that is something I hope that you start to do. That's mine. You don't have to be exactly how I do it. But it's the baseline and the foundation of my sobriety. Again, it's non-negotiable. I do not miss it. So living off that and starting to mold myself and I never wanted to be broke again. I hated that feeling. So I just told myself I'm going to outwork this stuff. And I just started hammering at work, and I was getting there before everybody, and I was staying past everybody and just, starting to build a life for myself. I get an email out of nowhere from my boss. And he said, hey, JD, can you talk? And I went into his office. So it's about 4 years, but I still have this residual. I'm a heroin addict, And he says, hey, listen, they brought me up to corporate. I got a promotion. And he said, the problem is I need someone to run this company. And he said, I can't think. He's like, he said, I've been watching you. He said, your integrity is something that I'm not used to in this industry, and your work ethic is amazing. So I'd like to hand the keys off to you. And I'm like, what? I didn't seek it. I wasn't looking for it. I had no clue the guy was watching me. But implementing the principles that my sponsor embedded in me have radically changed my life. The promises you hear people speak of, they will blow your mind. I mean, my life is so unbelievably radical from just doing these things and following in directions from a man that, just told me to do this. I was willing to do whatever he said, and my life has radically changed because of it. Let me see. One of the problems that I struggled with, though, I put my all into the alcohol and drug thing. I really did. There was an issue that I kind of, in the beginning, the first year and a half, though, I, kind of took out the drugs and alcohol and kind of replaced it with women. And I'm going to tell you why I'm telling you that. So it kind of was starting to run through women and just kind of, for lack of a better term, just kind of date a lot of them and hook up with them. And I thought I was being a man of integrity by being honest. Listen, I'm not looking for anything. If you're not looking for anything, we can do it together. You know what I mean? And, but what happened was, I wasn't realizing that there was some women that were getting hurt in it, and when it kind of came to a head, there was 2 little instances where my sister was telling me, that women can't just sleep with men. It affects them differently. Like, they leave a piece of themselves with each man, and it affects them differently. So that conversation happened, and I was starting to think on that. And this girl that I was kind of hooking up with, I called her one night, and I'm like, come over. And she's like, I'm not coming over to your house anymore. Because every time I leave, I feel like shit. I was kind of like, why? I didn't even caught up to it. Like, why? And she said, because I feel used, I feel like, every time, we have sex and then you walk me to the door and then that's it. And I thought she was cool with it, but apparently not. And, but the point is, like, I cared about her. I didn't care about her to date her, but I cared about her. And I was realizing that I was not being a man of integrity. So what I did was I swore off women for 9 months. I didn't talk to any of them. I started to really fix myself. And it was liberating. It really was. Like, I spent a lot of time just with myself, reading, meditating, and just really kind of finding who I wanted to be, really just thinking through in my head, like what type of woman I wanted, in a way manifesting it, and then I met 2 years into my sobriety, I met the girl that would now become my wife. And the way I look at it is I took the time to heal. And because of that, God put his hand on it. He blessed me with, the woman is now my wife. We've been together for a long time and we have a great relationship. 6 months into our marriage, she's sober too. 6 months into our marriage, she's starting to act a little funky, right? And I don't think she's relapsed. I can't admit that. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, how did you not know? But one morning I get up early and she's in the closet with the light on and I hear pills shaking. And I'm like, oh, dude, I know what that sound is, So I go in there when she goes into the shower and find pills. So long story short, my wife relapsed. And then once I caught her and addressed her, she did a nosedive back into heroin, and just nosedive. In 2 months, just got super bad. She's lying, hiding drugs all through my house. I'm pissed. I don't want that energy anywhere near me. I don't want drugs in my house. I'm pissed off at her. She's lying to me all the time. I check her into rehab and just pissed off at her, just so angry. Now, I was running the mortgage company so I could go to work and leave that there. I could decompartmentalize that. But when I came home alone, and that's where the anger would just manifest. And, some of the flirting that some girls at the work would give me, usually, I would pay no mind. Now I'm vulnerable, and now I'm open to it a little bit. So this one gal, I'm starting to text back. My wife's in rehab. I'm pissed, feeling sorry for myself. I'm starting to text this girl back. And this goes on for a couple weeks. And the night that I was most likely going to cheat on my bride, I'm sitting at my counter, making the case for myself to tell this girl to come over. And I get a call from a buddy of mine, and he's sober too. And he says, what's going on, man? And I was honest. I said, let me tell you what's going on. This is what I'm thinking about doing, dude. And it was quiet. And he said, you could do that. He said, or, what you could do is be the man that I've watched you grow into in the last few years, which is a man of integrity and a man of character. And you could be the rock for your bride to lean on in her weakest hour. Just smacks me in the face. Like, dude. He said, let me ask you a question, JD. He said, did you ever lie to anybody when you were doing drugs? I'm like, okay, I know where this is going. He's all, did you ever hide drugs in their house or bring drugs in their house? And I'm okay, I got it. So from that moment on, I supported my bride. And the point that I tell that story is we are the sum total of the 5 people we hang out with the most. And because I was hanging out with the right people, I had the right phone calls, because I did still talk to some buddies from high school, and they were saying, F her, you need to do this. And they were feeding that vulnerability, but the sober people were speaking truth into me. And that's why at this point, living from that lesson and many others, I surround myself with the right people, man. If you're not living right, I can't be around it. Like I said, I'm attracted to darkness. I'm just attracted to it. So I don't throw myself on the train tracks anymore. I just don't. So my wife gets out of rehab, and she starts being the secretary at this Monday night meeting. I start going to that Monday night meeting to meet her, just to kind of support her. And this guy comes up to me after a while and asks me to sponsor him. He's got 3 years, so, he's got some time. And we start doing step work at my house. 6 o'clock on Wednesday is when we started doing this. And we had a passion for sobriety. Like, we had just rad conversations, And I said, listen, dude, at 6 o'clock every Wednesday, let's read this book cover to cover. Every Wednesday for an hour. And he's like, let's do it. So we started doing it. And then another guy came. And then another guy came. And then another guy came. And then COVID hit. and then there's no meetings. So then now my living room has like 9 guys. And then now my living room has 20 guys. And then my living room has 30 guys, and we're on the big side of the living room. And there was no meetings, you know. God used my wife falling and going through that to, one, build our relationship. It's never been better. It's strong. It's stronger than ever. And 2, leading onto a path of now that meeting is at a church and there's like 80 guys every Wednesday from 2 guys doing step work. I mean, I'm not the reason. Like, God put his hand on that. And that's what sobriety is. That's the promises. That's what's there. So for anybody new, let me tell you this. Get yourself a morning routine, and it's non-negotiable. It doesn't have to be mine. I would suggest waking up at the same time and not hitting snooze. Adopt that one, because the first decision of every day is your alarm going off. You've wasted a lot of time. Wake up. Make something of yourself. Chase growth. Little wins. Earn the sunrise. You know, however you want to call it, pay your tab. If you go to a restaurant, you don't pay your tab, there's consequences. If you don't pay your tab, your sober tab, there are consequences. It's non-negotiable. Now, I'll end on this, where so many people, and this drives me crazy, where so many people fall short of the beauty of sobriety is this. They get sober, and then they get sober. You know, like when I got sober, I was looking up this mountain like, dude, how am I going to climb that mountain of Everest of sobriety? But my sponsor had already climbed it. He threw the rope down. Just hold the rope, dude. Just climb up. You know what I mean? So what happens is half the people walk up half the mountain, and then they walk up half the mountain. They don't throw the rope down. If you want to have blessings in your life, I promise you, help other people succeed. Help other people succeed. Right? Great men help other men succeed. That's all I got.
Amazing.
I could keep going, man. That was so
Yeah,
good.
That was so
Nice.
good.
The ending was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
on point,
It's
huh?
nice to love yourself.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I meant really like. I didn't mean like a question. Really?
Yeah, no.
But it is.
Yeah, it's nice
I
to
love everything you said.
Everything.
Because like we are such. And let me turn this off. You guys talk for a minute while I turn this off.
Yeah, I love it. I love sobriety.
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
I wouldn't be who I mean, God knows what he's doing. Like, I wouldn't cherish all the things that I have if I didn't walk through the hell
for sure.
on earth to get it. You know what I mean? You cherish these things now. I mean, when you've touched death, you know, life is so much prettier.
It's
You know what
so
I mean?
true.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I love about like this Tuesday night meeting? Every once in a while we get a new gem. Almost like every week though. But like I love this new one, and somebody else loved it too. Pay your sober tab.
Oh yeah, that's
That's it.
Here's that.
Like I don't often get to hear stuff I've never heard
Yeah,
before.
that's
I've
it.
never heard that.
I've
one
never heard
before.
that one either.
And I love that. Pay your sober tab.
Do every day. You guys know that. It's never
It's
more-
do
it's
it,
just-
all we. I mean, all we get is a daily reprieve, man, and from somebody who has stopped paying their sober tab and was refunded their misery in full, like that is something that I'm unwilling to do.
Yeah.
yeah.
And when you talked about finding a routine, a morning
Yeah.
routine, that is something that I made a commitment to.
Absolutely.
When I got back into recovery, I was committed to having a routine that started with God.
Absolutely.
My routine, not my routine doesn't have to be everybody's routine either, but I wake up at the same time, Monday through Friday. I got a little bit different on the weekends, but it's early, and I spend that time with God, and I
Surprises.
spend that time with meditation, and then I go take care of my physical fitness before most people even wake up in the morning.
Yep, true. Yeah, I like I said, it's non-negotiable. I mean, we a lot of us who are out there just running amok, you know, it's messy. It's just you know what I mean? And you can harness yourself and shaping yourself into like this disciplined person. And like if you build this foundation, like you said, like God watches, he's like, yeah, JD said he wants to be sober, but he's not really doing anything to be sober. So, or, oh, he's doing all these things. He's paying his tab, right? Let me put my hand on it, because those temptations, they're still coming.
Oh yeah.
But you're basically buying God's hand to do that. So when you're paying your tab, they're bouncing off his hands. You don't pay your tab, like I said, you don't pay at a restaurant. Yeah, good luck, man. You know, that's why if you stop going to meetings, all of a sudden you start
Pondering
want
more.
to drink.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
forget.
It's
You
because
start to- you start
those
to forget.
temptations penetrate.
Yeah.
And they're
Totally.
sent from hell. You can't
Oh
block.
yeah.
It's so true.
You start to think, well, maybe I never was really
I wasn't that
alcoholic.
bad.
I
Yeah.
didn't
I
meth.
could have one.
Meth
Yeah.
was my problem.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I only like to shoot heroin.
Right.
Maybe I can snort some cocaine.
Sure.
Right, Shane?
No.
No. Shut the foot.
No, bro. Those scheduled drugs are no bueno. You
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah, I
cannot
see.
just snort a little bit of cocaine and go home at night. For us, that doesn't work.
Okay.
No,
But it
we
is- but
never
it-
go home.
But it is true. Once you kind of either stop, because I work a program too, but once you stop doing that program
Yeah.
or you stop doing your
Yes.
morning routine
fucked.
and you start to stray away a little bit, all of a sudden that covering that you had, which is like, your little armor shield, all of a sudden it starts to all come down a little bit. And then
That's
you
what
start
you-
to think, oh, I
penetrates.
can do this. And then it's off to the races.
But when you pay your sober tab, you can do whatever
Mm-hmm.
you want in your life, and you can go wherever you want in life, and you're okay.
So, for those of you who have never felt a pocket of peace, is what I call it.
Another
If you
one.
help
Another
other
one.
people succeed, God will bless you with what I call a pocket of peace, bliss. It's hard to explain. It's better than a shot of heroin. It is like pure, just nothing's gonna shake me, and it's not a constant. The life will knock you off of that. So the way that I have found that I can get to it again, because it's not a constant, it's always under construction, is to chase growth, help other people, keep doing that stuff, and then it because now if you've tasted that pocket
Yeah,
of
for
peace,
sure.
I'm there, and it's not going to be there forever because it's going to
I know.
the world's going to knock you out, and you're like, so if you're anxious, if you're having problems with your head, drugs, it doesn't matter how it manifests. It manifests in all kinds of different ways. Some people it's eating, it doesn't matter. That's your soul screaming at you that you're not living within God's will, and that's why you feel off. So if you live in God's will, you feel peace. And the world is going to knock you off of that axis at all costs. Because look at it like this. The addiction is right behind us. He's right behind us right now,
yeah.
just staring at you.
Wait,
You know what I mean? Just what?
For sure.
Oh, wait.
Wait.
It's all good.
I always
addiction-
say mine's doing push-ups.
Always.
24/7.
Patient as patient can
Oh,
be
yeah.
too, man. And when I was least expecting it, the first time I relapsed after having 9 years clean,
Wow.
I wasn't expecting it, man. If you would have told me 2 weeks before I picked up that I was going to pick up, I would have told you there's no way.
Yeah,
There's no way.
right.
But it was a 2-week period of time where a series of events happened, and I hadn't paid my sober tab.
Period.
You know,
So didn't have that protection?
I didn't have that
I was in
protection.
Cabo one time, and I had just a second of that. So I had paid the tab that day. So if I didn't, it might have been a different story. I was in Cabo, I was eating lunch with my wife, and I went up to the restroom and walked by a pharmacy, and it said Vicodin. And I was like, and then for a split second, I hadn't had a thought like this in a long time either. Nobody would ever know. And I'm like, let's whack that thing out,
Yeah.
because I did pay it that day. I did pay the tab that
Yeah.
day, but like, that's how fast it happened.
And I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
assure everybody, when your brain tells you that nobody will ever know, everybody will know.
Yeah.
Our disease lies so bad. It's insane. Like literally the same thing. No one will ever know. I'm gonna be at a conference for a weekend.
Right.
I can just do a little bit of meth.
7 days later.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody knew, and
The jig is up.
The jig was up.
Yeah.
So let's get on to we got 4 hands raised so far. So we got Matt. What's happening, Matt?
Hi, Matt.
What's up, family? How's everybody doing, man?
Doing really good.
Good. Matt, grateful recovering addict. JD, man, amazing share, brother. Amazing share, definitely. I mean, I always hear good ones here, but that's one of the better ones in a while.
Thanks, brother.
But I definitely relate a lot to what you were saying, man, especially with, paying your sober tab. And silly example, like maybe about 2 months ago. I was at the grocery store. Um, got my groceries and I grabbed a 20-ounce soda out of the little cooler. I was drinking on it, paid for my groceries, got in the car, was driving, and I grabbed the soda and I'm like, I didn't pay for this soda, man. I pulled into my driveway and I got back and I called the store and I was like, hey, and I asked to talk to the manager in charge. And I told her, I said, hey, listen, man, I was just there, I picked up some groceries, and I said I accidentally didn't pay for, my 20-ounce soda out of the cooler. She's like, oh, honey, thank you, we appreciate it. She's like, don't worry about it. She's like, just, it's okay. But it wasn't okay. The next day on the way home from work, I stopped at the store. I went in and paid for the soda because I was so flat out scared. It was pure, honestly, pure like inner fear. I was like, man, if somebody, this is going to come back on me at some point in time. Like I'm flat out scared of karma, period. So I do my best to just keep putting good energy out, keep doing the best that I can to help others uplift others, man. I'm a little over getting close to about 2.5 years in. I think, maybe I'm a couple of days away from 850 days, man.
Nice.
So that's decent. And, I just do the best I can today, man. I do a lot of outreach work today. I work real close with recovery in my community. I'm actually doing an awareness outreach here on Tuesday night here in our town. And they're actually asking me to speak there, so that was pretty cool. I'm looking forward to doing that. And it's just amazing, man, the incredible change that recovery has brought for me from the person I was 2.5 years ago to the person I was 3-4 months ago. It just keeps getting better every day, man, and I love it. And if you're new here, man, please, please, please stick with it. Just keep on pushing. I don't care if you got 3 days, 30 days, 100 days, whatever, man. Keep going, and never give up on you, man. And the world is a better place if you win it. Love you guys.
Love you, man.
Thanks,
brother.
Matt.
Stuff.
Look at Julian all snuggly.
It's late out there on the East
Had to
Coast.
point it out. Julian's all snuggly right now.
Sam.
Sam.
What's up, Sam?
Hello. My name is Sam. I have autism. And I have family members who have been affected by addiction. And I also I have not like an addiction, but I crave food a lot because of my medication. So I became overweight. I'm 300 pounds right now. And I decided one day that I have a really good story. I was trying to DM you guys yesterday because I have a really good story of a comeback story of a person who had a lot of mental issues, going through in and out of mental hospitals and becoming trying to become the first person with autism to be in the UFC.
In the what?
UFC.
UFC.
Oh.
And what's up?
Oh no, sorry. I was asking in the what? I thought I never understood
said the
UFC.
UFC.
UFC, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and I went to a fitness convention a few days ago. I met Larry Wheels and those guys, and they really helped supported my idea. And I was wondering if you guys are interested. If you wanted, you could DM me. But the reason why I'm here today is I want to share that, never give up on what you want to do in life. No matter how hard life gets, understand that there's always going to be something or some way of motivation to keep you going. And you got to find that motivation. And my uncle was a heroin addict, is still a heroin addict. And I love him to death, but understand that, yeah, like you said before, it never takes, addiction could really affect a lot of other people's lives. He used to live in my house for a couple of years, and then one day he disappeared. And it's sad how addiction could really ruin lives. So if you want, where are you guys from?
Orange County,
Orange County.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that in California?
California. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, if you want, you can DM me further, but otherwise, yeah, that's my main goal. I just want to help and motivate people with disabilities and people who are struggling mentally to know that, you know, and just motivate and help people. That's always what I wanted to do ever since I was a kid.
Nice.
Amazing.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Sam.
much,
Yeah,
Sam.
yeah. I'll check the DMs. I'll DM you back, brother.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Sam. Have a great day, brother. Chucky.
What was that? Oh,
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
So Chuck,
Hi,
Chuck, what's happening?
Not much, man. My name's Chuck. I'm an alcoholic. I'm grateful I woke up today instead of coming to. Really resonated with this share a lot. Brought me back to Ed, my old sponsor, who taught me a lot about humility and taught me about the integrity, and also the how to find a sponsor. How I feel like an idiot trying to ask around, but it was the attraction rather than promotion. I was around the right guy at the right time and was able to open up to him. And he opened up with his story with me, and I shared back, and it went on from there. He talked about the promises too, and I thought he was bullshitting me there for a little while. And a lot of it started coming true. A lot of it did come true. And, even before I was halfway through the journey, the journey's not even over yet. So it kind of makes me a little emotional talking about him because, he's been passed on for a couple years. That's the kind of impact that person made on my life. He talked about the Jedi kind of, mind thing. And, he was that guy. So that resonated with me a lot. The integrity part, I remember selling a car I had, came to a price, they gave me $25 more. And mind you, I'm about 10 years so into this recovery. At $25 extra, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I could take this and pocket this and nobody would say a damn word. But the other part of me is like, I'm going to make a phone call and do the next right thing. So I made a phone call, and the gentleman sent him a gift card for his daughter. That's who bought the car, and get a card back later, a month later, saying, we really appreciate it. Somebody had some integrity to say, hey, send this back and do the next right thing. It's just one of those things in my journey, in my life right now. I'm grateful I'm able to do the 12-step and carry the message to those that are sick and suffering coming in the rooms. I've been dealing with a lot of people in sober living right now. It's opened my eyes up a little more to how to deal with people and learn a lot more. I'll forever be the student and try to be the teacher. And life isn't so bad, and I'm not feeling too nuts today, not using the steps. And not too bad. I paid my insurance today, and that's all I got.
Nice.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck.
Zamzao.
Joe B.
Joe.
What's going on, guys? Joe, I'm an alcoholic.
Joe.
What's going on, everybody?
I thought it was
bro-
Pip.
Yeah, Pip, Joe B. I don't know what it says on my Zoom. Sometimes it's business, and I go Joe B. And if it's like friendly like this, I go with Pip. That's my nickname. Yeah, that was a great qualification, bro. I identified with a lot. Drinking at 14, 15 years old with the older kids. I did that, but I was never comfortable with them. To be honest, I was scared hanging out with them. What are they going to do? They're stronger than me. They're tougher than me, but they kind of took me under their wing. And, I wind up being a bad kid because of that. You talked about a lady, I forgot where you were, but she said God told her to come up to you. Mm-hmm. That I identified with that too. Around my 9-month mark, I got a bonus from work, and I was out of work because I hurt my knee, but I still got the bonus, and I had to pay my ex-dealer. And I drove into Jersey to get my bonus, and he's in Newark, and I was paranoid. I don't know. I just wasn't comfortable going there. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I had to pay him because I like to always honor that. And I walk into the gas station, and I see a guy, homeless man, and he's ordering stuff. And the guy to the left of him is like, yeah, I got everything, right? And I'm like, yo, that's really nice of you. He goes, I used to be him. I said, yo, me too. Right? It was one of those things. And the guy, three random people said, do you mind if I pray with you? So I'm standing in the gas station with two random guys and me, and we're just huddled over praying. And it felt so weird, but it felt so good. So after that, I was like, all right, I'm not going to go see this guy. I'm going to make him come to me. That made me feel a little more comfortable. And I paid him, and it was good. But stuff like that really got me scared early on. And then you mentioned the woman thing. And that was me during the pandemic, bro. They suggested 1 year, no women. I didn't care. You know, actually used, I know, but it wasn't right. I actually used the fact I was sober to get these women, you know, and the truth is I wasn't sober. I was just like undrunk, you know, I was an even more dangerous version of who I used to be. And that was tough, man, because I didn't like any of these women. It was all for the instant gratification to feel good. You know what I'm saying? And by any means necessary, manipulate as much as I can. And, you know, that was tough because, as you said, someone else told you it's hard for women to have unemotional sex. And so this time around, I spoke to my sponsor who has what I want, not the material, but his perspective on life and his gratitude. That's what I wanted this time around. And he's like, listen, you could sleep with anyone you want. Let them know in advance what it is. You know what I'm saying? Don't lead them on. And I could never do that. I was always scared of getting rejected. I'm like, I can't tell her the truth. I'm not going to tell this girl the truth. I can't do that. But now I could do that. I just don't. I don't know. It's weird. I just avoid them altogether until I feel like I'm done with all 12 steps. But you had a really great message, bro. And I'm really grateful I get to come and be honest. That's the best part about all this. So thanks again, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Joe.
you, Joe.
Tyler.
All right. What's up, guys? JD fires me up. I just wanted to hop on here real quick. You know, I'm just going to pay homage to my sponsor and keep it short. And I got a sobriety date of July 9th, 2024. And I'm currently working steps with my sponsor. Did you guys hear the first part? I'm not sure. It just started my time. Cool, man. No, I just wanted to get on here and just show some love, dude. Got mad love. Fired me up, man.
There you go, brother.
Nice.
You're earning some points by hopping on tonight.
Yeah, baby.
Way to show up.
Yeah.
I love that.
And,
Fire.
That's awesome.
Anthony G.
Anthony. Love that beard.
How you guys doing?
Good.
My name's Anthony. I'm from New Jersey. I'm an addict. I found out 2 weeks ago. My sobriety date is going to be going on 5 years at the end of this year. I don't know why, but I kind of frowned on making milestones. I watched friends who were addicts go to like get their keychain, but still be actively addictive, but just maybe just to appease their partner or family. I don't know. So I never really counted on it. I did a lot of therapy, and then COVID happened, and then everything went to stuff like this with Zoom. So, you know, I'm doing really well, in my opinion. I still, you know, stick with my steps. And the ironic thing was I wasn't doing any meetings. Whatever I did with my group CPC, I did like clockwork every other week. But I never went out, and I know a lot of people go out either locally or do stuff like this. So I bumped into you guys on Instagram, and there's nights where it just feels good to see a family, pages of people here with stories that used to kind of make me feel better when I was sitting in a group with 6 people that knew exactly how I was feeling when I was in active addiction. You know, so this is something that I think I needed again. I didn't have many people after COVID with groups like this, and I just think this is awesome. So I make this a routine every Tuesday night. I've only been here maybe 3 or 4 times. I haven't spoken, but I want to thank you guys personally. I know you guys were maybe making a trip to from California to New York. I think I may have messaged somebody or spoken about, but I think you guys came here already. I think you're supposed to be in New York City. So I would have loved to have meeting up with you guys, but I just want to thank you for this. This is a great tool. And even though 4 or 5 years in recovery, stuff like this really means a lot to me. It's great to be able to come on at Jersey at 9:00 at night and sit here with people that are family, that are united through something that a lot of people never understand. So just want to say thank you.
I love that.
Awesome.
I'm glad that you actually raised your hand tonight, Anthony, and shared with us. And we appreciate you for coming on and joining us, because this is exactly what it's for all of us to get better each and every day, and to know that we're not alone. And you didn't miss us. We were supposed to be technically in New York at this very moment, but because of God's will, our plane ended up getting changed, and then we got bumped. So we ended up staying in California. So you did not miss us. But thank you for coming on tonight and sharing with us and raising your hand.
You know what's amazing? It's amazing to have faith in humanity, and humanity doesn't let you down. It's amazing that you could rely on people where you used to never be able to when you were a little younger. See, I don't have friends today where I say, hey, I'm going to do this. You know what I'm trying to say?
Like if you were going to tell me.
If I tell you, I'm
tell
always,
me that.
when am I late? Am I ever late? Or am I always early? Whenever we meet somewhere, I'm always early. Come on, bro.
What?
Yeah.
Quit
okay.
it.
You're on time. Yes.
Quit it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
It is. It's nice to
It's a
have
lifestyle.
people in your life that have integrity.
Yeah.
Because the people that were in my life prior to sobriety, prior to recovery,
Animals.
they were horrible. People.
Horrible.
You know how often I was waiting for the dope man who said he would be there in a half an hour, 4 hours later. I mean, God, I'm just so full of gratitude that I don't have to live that life today.
Horrible.
For sure. Horrible. Yeah. Horrible.
And I said this the other day because somebody said it to me. I am so grateful that I didn't get what I deserve.
True that.
Because the life that I'm living today, I believe I deserve it now. But the things that I had done before, I didn't deserve to be where I am today.
Very true.
And that all starts with recovery, man. That all starts with raising your hand and saying, you know what, I'm hurting and I don't want to live this way anymore. Yeah. And there's no shame in that, man. No. There's people like us that we just want to help.
Yeah.
We just want. This meeting was freaking phenomenal tonight.
Yeah, really good.
JD,
really good.
This, you guys have to understand. Like, I wasn't here last week. Actually, you know what? I want to address that. I wasn't here last week. On what night was it? Last Monday night, my daughter, my 16-year-old daughter, was hanging out with other 16-year-old kids, and they were driving a golf cart. And one of the teenage boys thought it would be really funny to show off, and he swerved, and my daughter went flying out of the golf cart, landed on her head on the asphalt, fractured her skull.
Wow.
Was in ICU for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
And, but by the grace of God, she's okay.
Amen.
Because
it could have been really not.
Literally a tiny bit harder, and she would be dead.
Or in a different spot. Just in a little centimeter to the right. Or left.
So that's where I was. But you know what? I get to show up to life. I got the phone call, and my wife and I were at the hospital in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And because you were sober.
Because I was sober.
I was going to say something else. I was going to say because she drove. Sorry, I wanted to make a joke at that time.
No, but it's important though, because
I'm just saying she's a good driver.
No, but it's important because you're a man where she looks to you upon you to lean on during a crisis.
Hell yeah.
Where before that, we're not those people.
No,
we're lucky to even be around.
Yeah, right.
It's like we're the last ones to even call. Exactly.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're able to go handle a situation that is not the best circumstances, that's what life is all about. You suit up, you show up, and it's for your family. Like that's what we're supposed to do. And you were there to be of service and handled your business for the women in your life. And that's a solid win.
Huge win.
Love it.
You know, God is good, man. God is good, guys. All right, let's see what's going on the screen, because I mean, what a powerful meeting.
Yeah.
So if you don't have your camera on, can you turn your camera on for just a few minutes? Not mandatory, but I like to get as many cameras on as possible, because we are going to end this thing.
Yeah.
I said thing.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all those pretty people.
There we go.
Yeah.
Baby.
Everybody hands up in the air. Let's go. Even the CSC program.
We're going to shake
hands
it
up
out.
in the air.
There we go.
Let's go.
There we go. A little bit of fun and laughter. Woo! Fun and laughter, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
All right, God.
Grant
me
me serenity
to
Accept the things I cannot change. The courage to change the things I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Everyone have
See
a great
you guys.
Yeah.
Love you
Next
guys.
week,
Thank you.
same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah.
Most of the people are fine.
That's good.